Hi everyone, we're back. This is Hans Gutherson here with another episode of Wedgie Talk, and here we have some very special guests. For the first time ever, we have more than one guest on, and we have some very special people, content creators, very talented models who've seen great success across Patreon, Twitter, and their recently launched website, to very talented, very successful models, Bexin and Koti. Thank you both for joining me.
Hello.
Hey.
Yeah, well, thanks so much for being on the podcast. It's super exciting to talk to someone on the other side of the camera. I've talked to JR, like I was telling you before, and he's sort of on the other side of it, and he talks about producing, but sort of being on the camera is interesting, especially we don't often hear voices of models or actresses, whichever term you prefer, in the community. So this is very exciting stuff for a lot of us, for sure. So thanks again.
Well, we're honored. Thank you.
We were very excited to get the invite for sure, because usually we're just emailing and messaging, and we don't get the opportunity to talk much outside of recording ourselves, and of that we're pretty focused on one thing.
Yeah, no, I bet it seems you keep very busy, and that's something I'm sure we'll get into a bit. But to sort of step back, for those maybe unfamiliar with your work or who maybe have heard of you but aren't too sure what you're all about, can you just sort of give us a quick idea of who you are and what you've been up to?
Well, this is Bexin talking. We are, I guess, models in the Wedgie community. We've been told by a lot of people that we do a lot of very real and just kind of fun and playful videos. We like to give each other a hard time on camera, but yeah, we make customs, we do our Patreon, that kind of thing. And what would you say, Koti?
We just do a lot of the Wedgie content for whomever is willing to view it and what they want. We're quickly and already very submerged in the community. Actually, a lot of thanks to JR on that one. He really kind of opened the doors for us, and we've been making content according to whatever the loves are out there, and get to share that with everybody beyond just the two of us on camera. So it's pretty great being immersed in all that with everybody whenever they message and tell us what they think. It's cool.
Yeah, no, super cool, super cool. Obviously, like I sort of hinted at, and some we can get into the fact you've grown a huge audience, right, across Twitter. Patreon is huge numbers on there, right? So it's exciting
it was
stuff.
surprising even to us. There are times that I wake up and I check it and I'm like, holy moly, what is going on?
Yeah, I bet. And to just sort of, before we get too much into the numbers of it and sort of the success and how you built that, I'm curious to know how you two sort of first got into producing videos and sort of entering the community in that way.
That actually that started with a fun little website called ELM, as most people call it, or Early Lunch Money. That's where I started. I was kind of sick of the 9-to-5 job lifestyle, so I just kind of started doing that casually on there. And then JR is the one who found me on there and asked me to do a video for him, and he loved it. So he was like, hey, I have something a bit more specific I'd like you to do, which was the first Wedgie video I'd ever done. And for a while, I mostly just made videos, like Wedgie videos, for JR. And then he was the one that was kind of like, you like, once Koti started getting more into the videos as well, that's when he was like, you guys could definitely do way more than with this than what you're doing with just, like the 2 or 3 people I was making the videos for. He's like, I see like some potential greatness with this. And then from there, just like it felt like just such like a few clicks away from like a lot of people like just being like, oh my goodness, like all over us on Twitter. And it was awesome, actually.
Nice.
I just kind of slid on in there, and here we are. It just happened naturally, actually.
Yeah, no, it was pretty cool.
Yeah. No, that's pretty wild to hear. You sort of, you slide into it and you find yourself where you are now, which is exciting.
And you find yourself enjoying something that like you never even thought about before, because like this was like, not something that Koti and I had ever really considered doing for work, but once it started happening, it's just like, wow, we're actually like really enjoying like basically all aspects of this.
That, and I used to be a very, very, very private person, so the act of sharing anything on a camera, I didn't even like group pictures out with friends, let alone.
I've always just been like, oh, you're taking my picture, right? Post it wherever.
Yeah,
Wow.
it was an adjustment for me to know that, I was so worried that when I joined Bexin that somebody would view the video and go, okay, all right, well, that's not worth watching anymore.
Ooh.
And
it was the exact opposite.
Yeah.
I was like, oh wow, that's
They like
really
even
cool.
more.
Yeah, no, yeah, two girls always better, I guess.
Yeah,
It seems to be the theme there. And I guess, but that's an interesting point you bring up there, Koti. So in terms of sort of for both of you getting into this producing videos, you mentioned sort of changing, almost sort of a shyness, maybe being able to get on camera and do this. Were there other changes you noticed just sort of going forward and producing these, like maybe outside of that as well?
I mean, mostly just like, it's really funny to me because it's mostly the roles that we take on.
Mhm.
We're the exact opposite in person.
Aw.
Not the exact
Ah,
opposite, but I'm a lot more like, Cody's not reserved, but she's more thoughtful about what she says, and she's just a very sweethearted person, and I'm very intense and blunt, and I tell people exactly what I'm thinking, and I get more of the comments that are like, oh, Bexin, you're so cute and so sweet, and it's just like, that's only you knew.
But I do get a little bit energized whenever we do make videos because, it's pretty cool being, a bully, but an understood bully to Bexin because, I mean, she knows.
I am a nerd.
She is a nerd. She really is.
yeah.
But it's really cool to be able to to play that up a little bit and have excuses.
Nice. Yeah, no, well said. I love that. So when it comes to making videos, what's your process like? Can you walk us through sort of start to finish how that sort of comes to be?
Do you want us to start from the moment somebody emails us?
Sure, yeah, I think that's a great place to start. Yeah. Because is that how a lot of your videos get made? Is it mostly people now sending you emails and you sort of go from there?
I mean, it depends on where you watch the videos.
Mhm.
Patreon is just 100%, what we decide to pull out of our brains to make it as diverse for the community as we can while not making it like too intense for the website.
Mhm.
But outside of that, if it's like, our website or anything, then that's going to, that's going to start with an email.
Yeah, because most of our stuff that we resell is or once was, somebody a custom, or sometimes we just have other content out there. We just have separate our videos that we have for purchase from the ones we have for Patreon, because we put out a lot on there for those who consistently follow for the page. But it really, the process starts outside of, like, if we just set Patreon aside for a second, somebody sees our Twitter page and they are really been looking for content in the community, and they haven't been able to find exactly what they're looking for. They could start by emailing us or maybe any other model they know, but once they reach out to us, they give us an idea of what they're looking for. We start asking questions like, okay, well, for this custom, this is what this looks like, what our pricing is. Now, how long
of a video? Yeah, what
Yeah.
you're about to say. How long? What kind of underwear?
we ask them all. We've been told we ask a lot of questions, and a lot of people are happy about that, because we want to know, what do you want to see? How long do you want it to be? What do you want to see achieved? Like, what kind of wedgies? If people are, like, I know there are some people out there who are like, oh, cool, then they like only do something with very little charisma, I guess,
Mhm.
for the video and put it out there. But we know when we have these customs made, it's kind of just like a piece that somebody's paying for, so we want to make sure we do it right.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and believe you me, there have been plenty of times when we've, like, if you jump past that point and we're sitting there ready to record, there have been plenty of times that we've been sitting there wanting to just like beat our heads against the wall because we can't figure out how to get the shot right, because we want the shot to be right, we want everything to be seen, and we also want to be genuine in it. And you have those days that are pretty hard where it's just like, what do we do to like pull ourselves out of these funks so that we can make the content that we do make without like coming across as disingenuous? Because we like to show,
I don't want to put anything less than perfect out for those who buy it.
Yeah, no, I mean, we've always had like very fun, playful banter that we like to try to keep in there. So there are some that, it may look seamless, like it's just supernatural, but there are times that we do have to retake something over and over because I'm like, oh, I said this one line and I feel like it just made me sound like I was angry at everything in the world.
Wow.
So scrap it.
It's not good. it's done, it's over with. So yeah, pretty much we have somebody email us, we get it set up. We want to make sure the content's right. We do a lot of like preparation ahead of time and just make sure we re-review the chains of emails and make sure that we have the summary right and we don't stray from it.
Even behind that, just picking out outfits, making sure that we look cute. Gotta look cute. Yeah, doing that. And then, I mean, editing, that's once, the videos are taken care of, that's usually,
very easy.
That's pretty easy. I mean, it's mostly just sharing it from one device to another. Koti is far more tech savvy than I am, but I'm the one with the technology that has the higher resolution. So I'm like, hey, I'll provide the filming if you slap that watermark on there.
Nice.
So we balance it out.
Yeah, no, that's wonderful. No, it's really cool. No, that's good. Like you were saying, it gives people an idea of sort of how to reach out to you as well. And speaking about that, I've been hyping up your site and the Patreon. For people who maybe don't know what those are, can you sort of tell us the names and where to find you and what's maybe different about those platforms?
Absolutely. Yeah. You want to start with Twitter?
Yeah, Twitter, I mean, we do have some people message us on Twitter, like in our DMs, and I will warn people that we don't get any notifications for that. So once they hear this podcast, I'm really hoping that they kind of shy away from that, because we'll check them every once in a while, just like, oh my gosh, those still exist. And yeah, I hate seeing it because it'll be older ones and I feel terrible about it because we don't get those notifications. But on Twitter, you're likely going to see a lot of promotional content, as well as every once in a while we do like to post a video here or a picture here and there that's just, free for the taking. It can be anywhere from 30 seconds to a minute long of one of us giving the other a wedgie, or just photos that we got while giving each other a wedgie, something like that. And that's the best place, for free content. That being said, we don't use it a whole lot to put out free content, but that's the best way to snag it whenever it does happen. And again, it's for promotional uses, like when Patreon's going to drop. And then our Twitter handle is Bexin Bexin Baby Girl.
Yeah, it was
Bexin Baby Girl,
because it was before I came along.
Yeah.
And then Patreon, that one's at
Bexin and Koti.
Yeah, that one's Bexin and Koti, at Bexin and Koti. Wedgies. Yeah, double check me. I was I'm fairly sure I'm right on that one, because pretty much everything but Twitter should be
Bexin and Koti.
Yeah.
It is.
And so Bexin Yes Girl email existed before me. Bexin Baby Girl is the Twitter. Bexin and Koti is Patreon, and I think Bexin and Koti is our YouTube channel as well, but it's all hooked up through the same email there,
which is bexinyesgirl@gmail.com. And yeah, like I said, that's where we want people to reach out to us the most, because even some people find me on Kick, and I really like Kick. I don't have notifications for that either, because I want most of my communication to go through email. So the best way to reach us is going to be Bexin Yes Girl. Aside from that, we do have our website, which is
lesbianwedgies.com.
That has all of the information on it too. It links you to our Patreon, our resale shop, which
in our Twitter page, I think
I
should have
so,
a Twitter icon on there. So that's kind of like the core of the spider web. There is lesbianwedgies.com should kind of be the hub for all the links,
whatever you need to. And anyway, aside from that, if people just email us and ask us, we're gonna tell you. We're not gonna be oh, I'm above answering this kind of email. No, we'll tell you.
Yeah, we'll respond and be hey, it's this. And anytime, that's the thing, is I just like answering emails.
I like getting to know people. So even if some people will just be hey, I saw you liked Pokemon in that one video, and I'm oh, please talk to me about it.
So yeah. I think that's nice. The only platforms, though.
I think so, yeah.
I don't think we have anything outside of that.
Yeah. Surprise! There's secret platforms. Only for the exclusive fans. All the Pokemon fan sites that you're on or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. Yeah, that's super awesome.
Sword and Shield.
So that's super cool. Yeah, definitely on a lot of platforms, a lot of places for people to check you out, which is great. And in terms of sort of the success you've seen, I guess for people who, again, maybe haven't been to some of those sites or seen it, I guess when did you two start producing these videos, and what sort of success have you seen so far? Has there been a lot of growth and a ton of subscribers for those who haven't seen the big numbers?
Gotcha. officially started like at the very bare level back with like ELM officially started back in like May, and then I would say
I was early July.
Yeah, and then she was early July. So by early July, everything gravitated from ELM straight into the Wedgie community. So since that point in early July, I believe, that's the amount of time it's taken us to amass the Twitter followers that we have, which is about 1,700, somewhere in that ballpark, 17, 1,800.
Yeah.
And then Patreon is the amazing one because
goodness.
that like 160, 170 number, that's only been like what? How long? That hasn't even been like a month, has it?
It's all no, I think I think we launched right at the beginning of September, that one.
Yeah, it was like right towards the beginning. So that one's just like, that one's mind blowing to me.
Wow.
Like we woke up one morning with just like, you know, even the day that we woke up with 50 followers, I was just like, I can't believe we've already hit that. That was like within a week, and it just like, it floored me.
Yeah, we were expecting a lot slower of growth, and you know, like sometimes it's hard to, I'd like to visually see something, and it's hard to know how deep the Wedgie community goes. You know, outside of the people who email us, there are people who don't like to talk or message a whole bunch and just like to kind of see things.
There's even like, you know, just the promotional video that we put up on YouTube, which I don't know the exact numbers on it, but I know that within like a few weeks, I don't even know if it was a few weeks, it may have just been like a week or two, that had already given us like 5,000 or so like views or more. Wow. I think.
Yeah, we had 10,000 in a week.
Okay, 10,000 in a week.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just like it's bigger than what I even know what to do with sometimes. I wasn't expecting. I was like, okay, well, we'll get like a custom here and there, and it's gonna be like, you know, just it's, I don't know. I don't even know what I'm saying at this point, because sometimes when I think about it, it's just like insane to me.
Yeah.
I'm checking
No,
it.
it's certainly.
We're at 18,000 views from 2 weeks.
Wow. That's wild. That's really wild. And it's surprising for even some of us in the community to see the sort of popularity and the views some of these videos can get. We're like, how many of us are there? We thought we were much smaller than this, right? Which is pretty wild. So, and I guess just to sort of go on sort of what we were saying and what you were touching on a bit earlier, what do you think has been sort of the key to that success, growing so quickly? Is it sort of, as you were mentioning, being genuine and being real in the videos, and does it go beyond that?
I do think that has a big part to do with it. You know, I do have to say a huge thanks to JR, because I feel like we would have eventually ended up somewhere where we are right now, but I feel like he helped guide us in the right direction, and like helped, you know, give us information that was really awesome, really helpful. So like a big thanks goes out to him. Like I can't even express it. But yeah, aside from that, like the content itself, we have gotten a lot of compliments with just, you know, how genuine we are on video, and then, you know, even through emails, how friendly we are to talk to, because like I said, I like getting to know people, so I don't want it to just be like very transactional. I want it to have like a flair of actually like, hey, I actually like, I'm so glad you came to me. Like, this is awesome. This is nothing like I thought I would be doing with my life, but I'm super happy about it.
Nice.
Like, yeah, I just want people to feel like when they are either viewing our content or talking to us, that it's a bit more personal than just scrolls through a screen.
Yeah. I mean, like we enjoy what we do, and one of the things that has been really cool is I almost expected getting into this, there being a lot less, like, because we have people who love to talk to us and email us, and it's really, I don't even have a word for it on how unexpected it is, because I anticipated it being about the content, getting it out there, you know, and just keep going. But there are guys out there who are asking us how we've been, do we have any more content coming out, wanting to understand more about us. We've got some we
get well wishes when we're sick from complete strangers, and it's awesome. Like, I love it.
Is.
Yeah. And
that's
so
amazing.
To answer your question, yeah, I've had this conversation with a few people via email before on, you know, why they think we blew up, and I'd say the answer has always been that they say our content feels real, and I don't like to like act like like pretend I'm in Hollywood when I'm producing this. I just like to have
it's fun for us. Like we're just
playful banter.
We're having fun and we're enjoying what we're doing while we're having fun, and then letting the world see it, basically.
And if that's what's determining our success, it's not going anywhere. I don't want to start being a different person on camera.
Nice. Yeah, it's wonderful. Yeah, really well said, for sure. I think I can definitely hear it talking to you now, and in the videos I've seen and online and things like that. Yeah, there's certainly a realness there, which is great. So I'm glad to hear it's not going anywhere, which is awesome for sure. So, in terms of the sort of videos you've done, is there some that your favorite, or ones that you think really stand out that you think people should maybe check out?
I mean, the one that stands out, like as soon as you asked that, I had one that like popped into my head that like as far as standing out goes, like it stands out. Koti, do you remember the one? It's in the intense one where like you basically, she just went to town on giving me wedgies, and it was pretty early on. I mean, disclaimer for all of our videos: no, we don't use any sort of trickery to make them rip, or like ways to like prevent any pain. Like whenever she goes to town, it is what it is. Mm-hmm. And there is our intense wedgie video that always sticks out to me, because that's the one where she got not only the most rips on me, but dangled me from my underwear for the first time while standing completely straight up, and I like have my hands down on the ground, and it's just like she's just destroying me. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was early on. I'd check up probably around the July time period. It'll be on our online download store, but it was called Intense Wedgies or Intense Wedgie Session, one of the two. I remember that one pretty clearly, and I think I grabbed some ice after that.
Yeah, I think
Wonderful. Yeah, that sounds great. Yeah. Now I'm sure you'll get a ton of people just flocking to that, probably. Yeah, from that great description.
I like all of our videos, though. We're still covering the spectrum of all the preferences in the community we haven't even got to touch on.
And I love doing like humiliation, like verbal humiliation videos, like the ones that guys script and they're like, can you make fun of this person in this way for me? And I have so much fun doing those, because I'm so like, I'm live and let live, and like I like everybody to be like happy around me, but like then those videos let out like a dark and like a get it side, and I love it.
That's awesome.
That's so great. Ornery in any video I get a chance. So I don't know if I have too much of a preference, as long as I get to be the ornery or cocky one.
As long as she wins, she's happy.
Yeah. That's real competitively. For those who are egging me on, that is very real.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, sounds great. Wonderful dynamic, it sounds like. As long as, I guess you both like to win at times, so as long as you win this one, you win that one.
I'm not as much of a sore loser, so whenever I lose, it's all in good fun, because a lot of people like to see me, the nerd, get her wedgies, get her comeuppance, and I'm fine with it. Because most of the time when I'm getting them, I'm getting to do something else I enjoy, like playing my Switch or something, and then she's like nerd and gives me a wedgie. I'm like, this isn't bad. Like, I'm having fun.
It's a win-win.
That's hilarious. That's so crazy. Yeah, so you mentioned sort of becoming more active in the community. Does that sort of go beyond sort of talking with people? It sounds like you do a lot of emailing people there as well, but have you been like looking at other videos that have come out or anything like that?
You mean like other models outside of us?
Yeah, anything like that, or anything beyond just sort of talking to people, or like that.
Watch, especially if we're having trouble getting down something that we've never heard of or that we don't know much about. We'll also have guys send us links, but we will use other websites and other models' videos to kind of figure out what's going on, the best way to do something. Like there are certain kinds of wedgies that we haven't done just based on what we've seen, knowing our living environment, that we can't do, but we'll watch, girls getting like hanging wedgies and stuff, so that whenever we are able to do it, we do have like a good repertoire of reference going forward in the future. But
yeah. A few references, but like talking directly to other models or like networking, I have not been.
I have not. I'd be open to it, especially because we don't really know any of the other models in the industry. I'd be more than happy to go down that route. It just hasn't really presented itself yet.
Nope.
No, cool. No, interesting here. Yeah, you've been looking at other clips and building up those references, which is fascinating too.
Making sure we're on the right track too.
I mean, yeah, sometimes we even use it to see if we can get references for what kind of underwear they're using, because there's, definitely some underwear that's better for other things. So we'll watch girls' videos, kind of like watching the material, like, okay, that isn't cotton. What are you?
Is that spandex? How is it stretching the way it needs to?
Yeah.
Lots of
Wow.
research.
Yeah, no, that's wonderful. That's super cool. So yeah, that's some fascinating stuff. A lot of really cool and interesting insights for sure. So for both you, in the short term and the long term, what are you sort of hoping to achieve going forward with all your content and the different platforms that you're on?
I think for me personally, because I do have a job outside of the house, so like short term,
Yeah.
what I'd like to see is some way that we can amass it down to more like pinpointed areas, like if it's mostly coming from like our Patreon or our website, like a way to kind of like get everything a bit more centralized. But that's more like on a hour level than like what the videos are going to be.
Yeah.
As far as the videos go, I want, as soon as we move into a new place, I think we are going to see a lot more daring wedgies from us.
Yes.
That's definitely our goal, is to get more daring content out there. Because neither one of us has ever tried a hanging wedgie, and a lot of guys ask us to. I've told other people this, but our apartment was built in the 70s, and we don't want to like rip the foundation down with a hanging wedgie. So,
Yeah, try putting that on your insurance claim. Yeah, see what they
try
say.
getting the deposit back after that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's like what I would like to see, is just more like intense and more just not chaotic, but more fun, like just more fun, I guess.
Yeah. As long as we're consistently like I don't ever see us like not enjoying our work. I can see that lasting for a long time. I just want to know that we're still putting out content that everybody will enjoy, because every day somebody will send us an email and say, hey, have you guys heard of this? Have you heard of this? Do you like, what's this term? And I'm sitting there going, there's more to learn.
Yeah.
There's still more outside of what we've done. And so like hanging wedgies and things like that are good. So once we have the means, I want to be able to make sure everybody in the wedgie community can see one of our videos and one of them will appeal to them. I don't want to leave anybody out of the wedgie community just because it's something like, just maybe we haven't done it yet, but I want to make sure that there's something for someone.
Right. And that's what becomes like difficult with our Patreon, is that like, we want to appeal to the mass since we have so many people on there, but we know that we're not hitting some of those targets. So I want to figure out a way that like, even if it's not another tier, just figure out a way within the tier that we have to hit those smaller targets that we need to hit. Because I want everybody to be able to watch and be like, yes, that is it. That is what I came here for.
Without also like deterring the more common wedgie trends, because some people do like just seeing like ripping or atomic wedgies or the nerd bully aspect. There are some things that are really popular, but there are some things that aren't as much, and so it's finding that balance on when's too much of one thing and when's not enough of another.
Yeah. No, I think that makes a lot of sense, and that's some exciting stuff. I think stuff for us to look out for in the future, which is great too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Look out for that hanging wedgie. I swear I will be up there one day.
Oh wow, okay, you swore. It's got to happen now. We're all gonna be waiting for it.
I know it has to. I'm holding myself accountable.
I'll be the one clipping her in. Laughing.
So it sounds like great success across the board. You've been doing really great. What would you say sort of the biggest challenges being sort of moving into this space, into the community, making this content, and sort of being active here in the wedgie fetish community?
Time management for me.
Yeah. I know. Not to out you. Koti had a bit more of a problem, like not a problem, but like it was harder for her to like get into the mindset of it than it was for me. Like I said, like I don't care what picture you take of me or where you want to put it. Like it's so beyond what I care about. But I know a lot of other girls, for them to think, okay, this is my body, they want me to do what with it, and then put it online. Like that can definitely be a challenge for some to overcome. For me, it's just, again, time management, like you said. Like,
Mhm.
there are some days that I tend to overbook myself because I want to get everything done for everybody. And then the next thing I know, it's 10 p.m. at night, and I have to write somebody an email saying it's not going to be today, and I hate it. Like, I need to get better about, like, this is the schedule, we're sticking to it.
Yeah, it's that, and you know, a lot of the time when somebody orders a custom, we always say, hey, find the link of the underwear you want us to order online so we can invoice you for it. And we have to, of course, schedule, like, the panties may be there in 3 days at our place, but it's not uncommon in our apartment complex for mail to get lost. And so we can't schedule it safely within 3 days because you never know, because then we have to go back and blame it on the post service, which might rightly be their fault, but it's still an excuse of saying, hey, can't get it today.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to, like, time management, to be able to, on a weekly or bi-weekly basis, be able to, like, everybody have an understanding of when customs come out is usually at that time, because then we can get them all done. I can do, like, my pretty makeup one day, and then I can do my lazy makeup every day. I'm not on camera, things like that.
And then for me, since I refuse to use any, like, tricks or magic to make it not hurt or to make it rip faster, like, a big thing that you have to get used to is sometimes it's going to hurt in a way that you didn't expect to happen. And making that sound of pain is going to kill the video that you've already been working on for 5 minutes. So sometimes it's just like a grin and bear it, dude. Grin and bear it.
Yeah. So we just hold to those standards, but I'd say the time management would be the
biggest one for us. Yeah, it's just knowing when to film and who to tell what to,
and to not respond to emails at 11 p.m. and later, because I tend to mindlessly check it and keep working way too late in the night and go, oh, it's 11 at night. Maybe that'd be a bit odd.
Yeah, I'm a little to blame for that too. I know I sent you some late night emails, so I'm sorry about that.
I'm always awake.
Oh man. So this is a question you're probably asked all the time, but I guess to maybe set the record straight, hopefully once and for all, for you two, when it comes to making these videos and doing all this stuff, do either of you, have you sort of come to like the wedgies at all, or is it still just like it's the work and it hurts to do them, like, for real?
I wouldn't put it in the category of it's work and it hurts, but I have to do it. Like, there is definitely amount of joy and pleasure to be, like, just gained from it, from certain aspects of it.
I get a rush.
Yeah, I like, for one, I know for Koti, the power trip happens and she likes that.
Even receiving.
But I mean, yeah, no, there are definitely parts of it I definitely enjoy. Like, I mean, we've all seen the videos. We can't get past Koti's moans or never.
Well, same to you, because I have nothing better to say. Caught me off guard there one. And then, just to be blunt, it's very common for people to have, like, different kinks and things such as, and no matter how light the level, sometimes people, like, derive a little bit of pleasure from pain.
Oh, absolutely.
And wedgies, when they're painful, sometimes are just delightful, in my opinion.
I mean, nobody pegged me wrong when they pegged me as a sub, so I like it.
Wow.
So yes, long and short is yes.
Yeah, good answer. Always a good answer. Yeah, no, super cool. Yeah, so this has been super great chatting with you both. I learned a lot. It's been really awesome. I think that answers all my questions. Was there anything about your work and about yourselves that we haven't touched on that you'd like to share with the community now?
Oh, goodness. I would say something, but we actually, on our Patreon, are going to be doing a Q&A video.
That's right.
So,
yeah,
I would rather tell people, go put your question there so that we can keep answering them instead of that, because some of the questions are actually already asked on there.
Yeah, that's
Nice.
good. I will say this. If you are an avid watcher of any of our videos, and maybe you've seen multiple of them, if you're paying attention to anything other than Bex and I, occasionally one of our cats will make a little appearance.
They make
And we're
little
so sorry.
cameos.
We try to keep them out of the shot. They're really cute. If you see them, let us
But
know.
we know that's not what you want to see, so
You know, they wanna make a break into the industry, and I think they're a little too young. We got one in particular that wants to be a showgirl. It's a consistent joke. So if you see them, they are ours. We do not mention them because
we wish they would stop running through the frame.
that's the only thing I can think
Yeah.
of.
No, that's great. That's great. Yeah, fantastic stuff from you both. I really appreciate your great answers there and how open you were to chatting about a lot of this. It's
Absolutely.
been super awesome, and I look forward to seeing all the exciting work you do in the future.
Absolutely. Thank you for having us on, and to everybody listening, just thank you so freaking much. This has been more awesome than I can put words to. Like, I love it every day.
Every day. Absolutely. Well, I appreciate you having us on too. And
Yeah.
For anybody, you or any listener, you know, if you're wanting to hear from us and have a question
About
Send us-
anything, just shoot it to us.
send us an email. We don't have anybody like monitoring our email. It's just us
No.
two.
You can ask us literally anything. The worst that happens is we could be like, hey, that's a little personal, but,
Yeah.
you know, we'll talk about other stuff.
Or the occasional, like, we don't email over the weekends as best as possible.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario usually takes us 3 days or so to respond. But other than that, you know, we'll answer personally.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thanks again, both of you. And as I said, look forward to seeing what's next. And bye for now, everyone listening. Keep being awesome.
Have a good day.
Bye.